wants to start us off? Where were we last time in Middenheim?
I'm sorry, I don't actually remember.
I
Oh,
count on
no.
you for the recaps. I got too much going on in my head.
I guess I could attempt then.
Or
All right.
Arkloyd, who's
Or
clearly
Arkloyd.
been paying attention to everything that's been going on. And is always here. So
Well, all I can really remember is Mordred recently heard about the Stonebreaker clan under Middenheim, and he's been trying to get Berthold to come with him to explore the place and see if he can't find any clues to his ancestry down there.
Yep. Morden had recently heard of the hold and now has a task ahead of himself to find out more. Meanwhile, I believe Berthold was in the process of building a shanty town in the Great Park to get people out of his arena.
Yes.
Meanwhile, outside the city, Alexa and Gustav were in the midst of investigating a mysterious occurrence in Bade Esselberg,
That's
wherein it did not get destroyed by chaos. They've become a little suspicious of everything, had a fun chat with a little girl, investigated a warehouse, and now intend to meet the little girl's imaginary friend. In the middle of the night. You know, as you do.
The six-armed man.
just six-fingered man.
Princess Bride reference.
Alright, so after taking years off your life, how do you feel, Berthold? What's up? What are you and Mordred doing?
Taking years off my life. What happened? Sorry, I think I missed something in the recap.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to do Princess Bride references.
Oh. You know, I've never actually watched that movie.
RUSs, so.
I never actually watched that movie. I've only seen clips. I'm a heretic. I love Andre the Giant. And that other guy who is in all the movies that I can never remember his name. The short, bald guy with a high-pitched voice.
Clearly, he's the Grand Magus.
Oh, yeah. DS9. Shoot.
Yep.
You let your females wear clothes?
Alright, but you are fully clothed, so what do you intend to do?
This is my way. I know, some people call me strange.
Mordred, too, you also have choices ahead of you.
Namely, pants or no pants.
Your last time.
Well, I mean, what time of day is it?
I think it's just a little bit after morning at the moment. You had set people out to do their tasks earlier.
And then I called you.
Yes, indeed. Phone is still updating.
Oh, okay, so it's not actually a phone call. Right. Well, you know, I have the morning get-togethers to do. Or at least observe.
Done them previously. You had set them to the task of removing people from the stadium. Or at least convincing them to leave.
Oh, this is the same morning?
Yes.
Well, yeah. It was a talking to. I'm not forcibly removing people from the stadium.
Right.
It's the get to know each other time. So the possibility that these people could then live in the shantytown or join.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they're all crazy homeless people, so it's really hard to determine what they want and what they'll believe.
Very, very true.
Tinfoil caps haven't been invented yet, so you know. Who knows what they're doing out there.
The last time you talked to them, they were drunk and belligerent.
I heard if you drink your own piss, they can't read your mind. Sure thing. I'm gonna back away now and come up with a new plan.
And your new plan has been to sick your people on them. Just to see what
Again,
happens.
Not the best choice of words. Yes. I'm not sicking my people on them.
Here.
Yes, I'm not being mafia on these people. If you burn their house down, they'll have to leave.
Is the lesson they will never forget.
Well,
But
honestly, the problem here, if you're leaning on me for a direction, is that Mordrin has the plan, and I need Mordrin to come back at me with his plan.
Alright.
yeah, I was also waiting for Mordrin to.
Because, I mean, we already know that I've planned things out for Mordrin's plan. I just don't know what Mordrin's plan was again.
What is your plan?
Well
Mordrin.
then,
Or Mordok. I forget what we're calling you now.
Modoc, yeah. Well, Berthold, I think we could try getting ourselves under the city here to see this new dwarven hole I've heard about. Well, not new.
Yes, I don't think any dwarven hold would be new. I'm sorry, 1 second. Gotta get into character. Where would this location be, Mordok?
The entrance is where is the entrance to this place again? If we've heard of it, or do we need to go look for Gustav to tell us where it is?
It is up there. However, as far as it's gone, you've merely heard the guards discussing it.
That remains to be seen, good sir.
Well, then perhaps we
I'm looking
should
for the entrance exit.
speak to the bailiff about further information, as well as declaring our intentions to form an expedition.
Okay. You can definitely
Would
go
you
to the
be
bailiff and give them a little talking to. They know
Would
who
you
you
be able to
are.
come with me? You have more of a silver tongue than I do, sir.
Well, yes, I mean, where you go, I go, and where I go, you go.
Thank you kindly, good sir.
I do like the idea that I have the leeway just to give the bailiff a talking to. Sir Bailiff, you've been a bad boy. Pull down your pants and stand over my knee.
Oh
Turns
gosh.
out being a noble has its perks. Surely you wouldn't do anything terrible, right?
You came from the common folk, which means that I have authority. It's time for your punishment or... Never mind, I'm not going that way.
Okay. Well, still, you head to the Palas district and, you are allowed inside to meet the bailiff. They know who you are, you're a noble, clearly you're not here to waste anyone's time. The bailiff appears to be somewhat busy setting up a plan, but he sets it aside, and comes out to speak to you. Ah, Bartram. Pleasure.
Right, I curtsy, as I always do.
How might I help you today?
It has come to my attention, or rather my man's attention, that there has been tell of a dwarven stronghold beneath the very streets of Middenheim. This is correct?
Well, that's been true for some time.
Right.
There's plenty of dwarven holds and dugout shafts far beneath the city, from back before it was even a city.
I look back at Mordrin for a moment and then back to the bailiff, and I say, I believe this one was known to a Stonebreaker clan, as I've heard.
Mordred would nod. That's what I've heard, yes.
Stonebreaker. Not sure the name rings a bell. Hold up one moment. And he reaches behind him and shifts through a small pile of papers, which must be some kind of reports. Pulls one out and goes, Ah, yes. A few days ago. Oh, I believe this was... Yes. Two of them, two people, had apparently come out of a previously hidden door on the side of the mountain. I believe this might be your hold.
Yes.
Really, they had to be rescued. It's a bit of a treacherous climb.
it was my intent to put together an expedition to better map such a hold and, figure out its mysteries.
Well, if that's what you wish, I'm certainly not going to stop you. I don't believe it poses any risk opening it up,
Well,
or at least not from the report that I have here.
as has been said, it's apparently already been opened up.
As my guards have reported, the door has apparently closed, and they could not find a way to reopen it.
Strange.
Most distressing. Did the report also indicate where the other entrance was?
Indeed so. Apparently it must have access from the sewers, but I wouldn't recommend going down that way.
No, of course not. First one tries the first entrance, and then I guess if that does not pan out, we will see about the other. Very well, I would just wanted to inquire and declare my intentions so that they would be known, so that if there were any waylays or problems with that goings on, you would be able to let yourself be known.
If you happen to find anything out while you're down there, I would appreciate knowing about it.
Very
And I
well.
understand that the dwarves of the city do have a long legacy. They might too, of course, like to know. And he just sort of like turns to Mordrin and like gives him like a little nod.
Why? Because he's short?
Yeah.
That's spacious.
Thank you, good sir.
Give him a big nod.
I'm sure if the family that owned it is still in the city, they would love to have it returned to them. Though, I'm unsure why exactly they've left.
We might be able to find that out as well.
An uncomfortable
Very well then.
silence.
You have my permission to explore it.
Very well. We will be out of your hair, and hopefully to make a return appearance.
I should hope you would return.
Yes, who
And he bids
knows?
you a good afternoon for now.
Good morning.
Good morning. Alright. So, with at least permission granted, you could definitely go storm it right now, but what do you intend to do next?
Form an expedition party.
Woo!
Shares to be had by all members who take part. With the specific guidelines had laid out before this, because I did pre-plan.
Indeed you did. I believe it shouldn't be a problem finding henchmen in the city.
Right. But to put out there what my previous requirements were. 3 requirements. 1. Dwarves only. I like to surround myself with small hairy men. What of it? 2. Citizens of Middenheim. All members of the expedition. Well, all members of the expedition that I hire need be citizens of Middenheim. 3. All dwarven members that are citizens of Middenheim also have to be able to trace their family back at least 2 generations in Middenheim. These are my requirements. 3.
Indeed. Is there a difficulty at all to finding them, or is it so low that being within the city that you can find them?
There is, but hold on 1 sec. I gotta bring it back up. Let's
Yes,
see,
please.
the Old World Armory. I'm also gonna need the core rulebook. Problem is that I've looked up character generators for Warhammer so many times that it's the first thing that pops up in my bar, and I have to manually go through everything again to find. Alright, let's see. What page was that again? For the difficulty in finding, let's see. 101. cost, I am taking the ones that are 30 advances deep, which is rare. Make sure, yeah, rare. And then we go back over to this other thing from the core book.
Yep, pulling that one up myself right now.
Yeah, I can never remember where equipment is. There we go, 103.
106. There we go. And you said it was rare initially?
Initially, yes.
Alright, it is average, +0. So I believe you can simply just roll your gossip.
Which still isn't great yet.
That was still like 60 or 70.
Yeah, but comparatively, I mean, I'm very self-deprecating.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Also, apparently, I'm making all rules to whisper. So there we go, public. Can
All right.
Mordrin help?
Mordrin could in fact attempt to help.
I mean, what's
Alright.
like a gossip for a plus 10% or something?
Yes. Let's go ahead and do that. So, can I get a gossip out of you, Mordred?
Alright.
See if you end up going
So close.
Damn it!
through the city, street to street, and you do actually find a all dwarven agency, specifically for hiring out people for such things. Turns out forming guilds is a good idea generally. But at this time, they return the response to you that they simply have everyone already assigned to things. You might have to wait a little bit. But if you come back tomorrow, they can guarantee they'll have someone. Or at least that's what they say.
Okay.
So are there any other plans you'd like to try in the meantime? Or any other preparation steps?
And I guess we could just go look at the door.
Yeah, see if we can figure out how to open it.
Or just investigate the door.
You could. You have been told of its location by the bailiff. It is outside the city. It is generally assumed you will have to climb up the mountain to get there.
Okay.
Do you have any ability to scale sheer
It's
surface?
a basic skill. Everybody has it.
Although, given my 25% in it, I might want some rope.
I mean, I'm only slightly better.
This is true. You might want some rope or climbing equipment of some kind.
That is something we might want.
But what exactly are you planning to do? Are you going to just scale it barehanded?
Well, at the moment, I'm looking through the book to see what rope actually gets me. Shit. A deck of cards. We'll need that on our trip. Lamps.
Definitely. What if you get bored halfway up?
Yeah. Chain. Has no description, really. Grappling hook. Intended for climbing, but you can use it as an improvised weapon. Nothing, apparently, doesn't give me a bonus. Rope.
Nonetheless, I would probably say that it would make the trek much, much easier if you had such things.
A fishing hook. Huh. Where's rope? It's not on the list. Well, maybe it's not a tool. Maybe I'm the tool.
Do full round action, half your movement with the test. Right. It doesn't give very much guidelines, but ultimately I will say that if you have these tools, you could have an additional plus 20 if you have a full climbing kit.
There's a full climbing kit somewhere?
Apparently not, so I might have to actually make up a price for that.
Well, apparently a grappling hook is all of 4 gold crowns. It's not cheap.
Oof, yeah. But if we're just going with like a hammer, pittons, and a rope, probably a gold crown or less. Oh,
Yeah,
gold could be
spikes
fine
are
as a
5
gold crown.
silvers. Oh, and I'm looking
Alright.
in the main book. Does Old World Armory have any additional options?
How much was the rope? Gold crown?
I couldn't even find rope, but again, I was looking in the main book.
Yeah, I just found it on the miscellanea thing. 20 yards, 1 gold crown.
What page are you
But
on?
I would probably say if you spend 2 gold crowns each, you would have enough of everything. That'd be my evaluation.
For climbing equipment?
Right.
2 gold crowns each. Each?
Each.
How much does the climbing equipment weigh?
Do Cumbrance.
I mean, of course, I'll buy Modoc's equipment for him.
Thank you kindly.
I'll go ahead and say 70, since the rope itself is 50.
Alright. Alright, so we get that.
Alright. I think that's probably easy enough to not have to make a gossip roll to find it, so once paid, you could go ahead and try to go outside the city and attempt to climb the side of the mountain. Go ahead and do so with your plus 20.
I'm up.
Hey! For a second there, I thought your target number said 99.
I am the best at climbing. My Ivy League climbing school.
Alright, Mordrin, you are slowed down as different parts of the mountain are actually rather covered in mud due to a little bit of recent rain, and it is hard to actually get a hold onto anything. Berthold has found a nice way up, however, you continue to struggle.
By the way,
Go
Morgan,
ahead
what
and give me
trade skill did you take? Just wondering.
Let me check.
Since all dwarves start with the ability of 1 of 3 trades.
Smith.
And you have that other thing that gives you a plus 10% to it. Alright, just wondering.
Alright. But go ahead and give me a second attempt if you want to still try climbing the muddy slope.
Well, that's better.
Alright, on a second attempt, you dig your hand straight into the mud and push the iron spike straight into the rock below, and manage to successfully pull yourself up. You are rather dirty for it all, but you are up there now with Berthold, looking at an immense stone door. It is, of course, hidden in such a way that it's not quite visible from either above or below.
Alright, what can we tell about it?
What are you going to try to tell about it?
Exactly. What can we tell about it? We're there, we're looking at it. What do my human eyes see?
Well, now I have to think and make up stuff instead of, like, bouncing back off of what you'd like to try to find.
Well, I don't know what I'd try to find, because I don't know what I'm looking at.
Exactly, so you stare at it blankly. Ordrin.
Yes. Is there any visible locks or hinges on this door?
Looking around, it does not appear as if there are any, locks or hinges. It is likely that any mechanism must be on the other side of the door.
By the way,
And just given its sheer size and weight, it probably uh, doesn't require a lock for anything short of a dragon.
I do want to point out, just for fun effect, the fact that you said anything you ask me, I'm gonna have to make up on the spot. And Mordrin Arcloyd's first impulse is there a lock? To the point that point of fact that you've said you had to make everything up, so there wasn't a lock involved yet until you decided to make one up. In which case,
But there isn't.
the first question you ask should never be, "What's the first thing that can hinder me?" It's, "I'm just gonna move forwards. If you haven't made it up yet, it's not gonna stop me."
Sorry. I need to learn these things.
No, it's just always funny. If he hasn't come up with a reason to stop us yet, don't give him one.
Oh, I have a few reasons to stop you. But of course I like fishing for info and not giving things away. Mordrin, since you are looking around and Berthold is as well, you could go ahead and make some perception checks at -20.
Alright.
So close, by which I mean not at all. I mean, I normally have a 74 perception. I'm just so fucking smart. And perception is based on being smart, which is great. But not in this case.
Just not in this
Kinda.
case. The two of you do not see
The
much
dragon!
more than the door. Though the door does have some getting closer, you do see that there are a few inscriptions on the door itself. Most of them appear very faded, or perhaps even damaged. But you can make out, I believe both of you can read Dwarven, can't you? Or,
Well, he's a
know,
dwarf,
Mordrin can't
and
read.
apparently I know everything about
Dwarven
dwarves.
cannot read.
Oh, well, I can read, and I know Dwarven, and I know the history of dwarves. And
All right.
doors.
So Berthold can confirm that by the inscription, this must belong to Clan Stonebreaker.
Aha, just as we suspected.
Yes, now to see if they might be related to me and my clan at all.
What do you mean, one of those poetic things, like the Stonebreakers died here, now we're stone bones, that sort of thing?
Or perhaps some similarities in heraldry can give a clue as to their genealogy.
By the way, real quick, are we just like hanging off the side of the mountain while we're having this conversation, or are we like...
No, there's definitely a sizable plateau in front of the door. Enough so
Okay.
that you could probably set up a whole campsite if you really
Yeah,
desired.
because in my mind, we were like hanging off the side looking down at a door or something.
Oh, that'd be rather hilarious.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good door without a landing to stand on.
I mean, unless it's just like a cliff edge. Like the door opens off into an eroded part of the mountain that just doesn't exist anymore.
Well, there definitely isn't a clear path up, so it's possible that's already happened.
Tell me, Mordrin, what does your heraldry look like?
I'm drawing a blank as a player, so he will describe it as a
Well, here's the problem.
he or she.
That was a trap made to trap you, the player. I didn't imagine you actually had a heraldry. That's why I asked.
I'm sure every dwarven family does.
Is that a fact?
Well, they're very proud of that lineage, aren't they? So they would certainly have some way of telling whose family is who at a glance.
I have no idea. I have the skills, I don't have the knowledge. I assume you as a dwarven player has read the dwarven stuff, so I'll take your word for it.
So what exactly is going on here? Are you still trying to figure out what exactly your heraldry is?
Apparently.
Yes, I should definitely go back and read the Gazette book again and see what I can see.
I could suggest some heraldry for you.
All right.
All right, for the stone bones, you could have in fact, a very primeval-looking bone club trying to smash a stone block.
Sounds good.
There you go.
I can tell by the
I'll go
way
ahead
that
and
you
write that
paused
down myself.
slowly, hit your mic once, and then hit your mic a second time before you said it sounds good. You don't actually think it sounds good, do you?
I was trying to like work on that and make something different, and I couldn't think of anything more, so it sounds good to me.
Alright.
Alright, feel free to change that sometime in the future if you really wish, but we'll go ahead and go with that if you like.
All right.
I mean, if he's like the only surviving member, then he can do whatever he wants with that heraldry.
I suppose then, looking at the door, you do in fact notice that your clan heraldry is somewhat similar to the Stonebreakers, where it is instead a very fine hammer that is trying to break a stone block of some kind.
And it's at the same angle as a bone club and
Indeed.
various other. Yeah, Mordrin will take some of the mud, draw on the wall next to the heraldry on the door, and say, "This is what mine looks like." And of course, he's not a great artist, so it looks
Would
like
you like
shit.
to roll like artistry?
I mean, that is a trade skill.
Which I don't have. So what do you default that to?
I'd probably say intelligence.
Yeah, trade skills are intelligence skills.
At a minus?
I think the fact that you're not trained is a minus.
Yeah, well, no, it's half. If you're not trained in a skill,
Mhm.
you have half of your main profile stat in it.
Exactly.
So whatever
Half,
your intelligence is in half.
half of 34 is 17.
Sounds right to me.
Yep. Well, 8. 17, 16, 17. Yeah,
Yeah,
17.
17 times 2 is 34.
That is an 87, however.
So he botches it completely.
Pulled out the paints that are still wet and it just droops over itself. Started at the top, messed up the bottom.
You have something of a stick figure representation. You have like a stick in a square. Looks like this. There's not very much to draw or carve things out with up here.
And he's going to blame it on the materials that he had to work with.
It's a poor
I could have done much better, but this was mud on walls.
It's a poor artist that blames his tools.
How dare you impugn my craftsmanship?
Well, I'm looking
Alright.
at it. I'm looking at it on the wall. It's not very good. I'm sorry.
So,
I still think this is a much better scene if we're just hanging from rope. Just hanging there with knots tied off at the bottom, so we're like sitting half on a rope, just looking at this thing that we're doing.
yeah, one of you just like lets go and starts spinning casually. But what do you intend to do now?
So we can't open the door, is the long and short, right?
So far as you've tried, you haven't found a means to open it other than brute force, perhaps.
Would perception help to perhaps seek some sort of a hidden button, perhaps like
You have in
where
fact
the
rolled
hammer is
perception for
striking
exactly
some.
that purpose.
Some form of doorbell.
Would this have a bonus because there's two people looking, or no?
You guys have already rolled it.
And we failed. Can I
Okay.
disguise the door?
Without like a better idea of what you're looking for, you're more or less just turning over every single
I'm
rock.
gonna gossip with the door. I will charm this door open. I command it to
I am the
open.
door that speaks only the truth. My one that
I'll
speaks only brother that speaks only lies is
Well,
elsewhere.
everybody knows that one. You ask the other one which one the other one would say. Anyways, open sesame. I command the door to open.
You raise your arms with the terrifying password, you utter it, and it stays completely still.
Well, no, I raise my arms with a terrifying scream. I fall off the side of the mountain.
Intimidate the door.
I beat and right to the door.
You intimidate the door so much there's an earthquake. Try as you like, as much shouting as you do, the door doesn't budge. How rude.
I knock.
Melon.
I gotta actually think about that one for half a second.
It's the lesser tried option when you approaching a door.
Very true. Also, it's made of incredibly thick stone.
Yeah, but he's got like a... What do you got, Mordrin? What do you got on you?
Warhammer.
There you go. That's a good knocker.
Alright, knocking with a warhammer is slightly different. Mordrin, would you like to roll a strength check?
Alright.
Alright. You take your hammer and you smash it into the door, causing some of the stone to chip off and break. And you can hear like a resounding echo somewhere behind it. Of course, though, the door does not actually move.
Of course, you have to knock twice, otherwise they just think it's something else. Gotta get the whole shave and a haircut in there. That wasn't a joke.
Oh yeah.
I know I'm saying
Just
ridiculous
listening, I'm
things left and
explaining
right.
the world remains awfully silent in the face of your commentary. The giant stone door seems to have you stumped.
Well, no,
Well,
we're really just wasting a day is what we're doing, so...
I do have Dwarfcraft, which gives me a plus 10% on armor, brewer, gem cutter, gunsmith, miner, smith, and stoneworker. Would there be any? Oh, I should have been using that on these perception rolls, but
Well, no, those are trade skills.
Right.
That's why I
Well,
mentioned
maybe if you wanted
before.
to break the door open or something, you could definitely do that.
That's why I asked you what trade you had. You chose Smith, right?
yes.
Right, and Stonecutter would have been the one I was hoping you had gone with.
Me too. I should have, but I don't know. Is that an option for dwarves? I'm gonna take a quick look.
Is that what now?
Seeing if that's an option for dwarves.
It would be listed under your option for the trade one that you got. I thought it was, anyway. I have rolled a number of dwarven things recently. But I random rolled them all, so I didn't actually have to keep track of what things I was rolling.
Welcome to the game, remember? Don't need to be sorry, you're fine.
Smith,
Just to catch you up on what's happened, they have attempted to mount an expedition to the Dwarven Hold you have found previously.
Oh boy.
So far, they have tried knocking at the door, shouting at the door, looking intently at the door, and also telling the door off. So
I've commanded the door to open in the Alibaba style of door openings.
Oh, rude of the
Oh,
door to not open.
yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I even gave him the whole open sesame.
Of course, you gotta ask the door out on a date first.
No, I tried that. I said charm. Didn't work. We also tried the often not used knocking. That didn't help.
What do you mean often not use? Every time there's a door in RPG, I knock at it. It's awesome.
It's very polite of you.
Yeah, Vinland's there. Knock on that shit.
Well, yeah, but I can understand why. Never mind, that'd be a Gustav comment, not an Emmerich comment.
Sorry.
But no, honestly, we're just wasting the day away because we had to wait till tomorrow until our people come in.
I guess that's a good question. Are you gonna spend the rest of your day up here on the side of the mountain, or what's the plan?
I mean, until maybe the sun goes, I don't know, 110 degrees to the horizon?
I'm just waiting on some dog barking here.
I know, but I had nothing else to say after that, so...
Since you guys are spending so much time there and so much time scuffling around and thinking up plans, I think there's like a search, isn't there? Something that's not just perception.
There is, but I'm not
Yes.
trained in it. Are you, Mordred?
Yes.
Alright, give that a shot.
Alright, well with hours and hours spent up here, you could go ahead and roll it with an extra plus 10.
You know what, though? It's a basic skill, so I could try.
Yep.
Damn it.
Damn it.
I'm gonna fortune point that one.
If you wish.
And I have none of those.
I like how you're not trained in it, but you're still as good as Mortran.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh yeah, because he's not smart. Well, no, it's honestly because I'm not trained in it. It's half of mine, and half of mine is 32. So I imagine Mordred is probably sitting on 32 normally, right?
Also,
34.
it is in fact the same day. It is the same day
Alright.
you've reached the village and done your talking, and this is their morning of the same day.
Gotcha.
Now heading towards evening. Well, the two of you have now spent what feels like a fruitless day at this door trying to open it.
Because, I mean, we wouldn't have gone inside either way. We're just investigating the door.
Of course. But it does seem more difficult to open than initially anticipated.
Alright,
Quite
well,
vexing.
I guess it's time to pack it up and head back to the park to see how that fruitful labor went.
Alright. You head back into the city to hear how the labor has progressed. And when you return to the city, you of course find... what was her name again? I keep forgetting. I need to actually write this down. NPCs...
Alice of Cow's Head.
Alice. Yes, Alice. Alice is there to greet you and tell you about how things have gone today, and she does not seem very pleased at all right now. She, in fact, looks a little nervous.
What's wrong?
Well, I'm afraid things haven't gone very well over at the stadium. It appears that, well... And she just sort of shuffles her feet a little bit, looks down, seems perhaps a little bit embarrassed, and tries to bring to mind the entire story. Well, everyone had gone inside to speak to the various people there and tell them about what a great idea it would be to move over to the shanties that we're building right outside the stadium. How it would be much cleaner and drier for them. But some of them did not take it very well, and with the number of us that were there, I think they thought perhaps we were trying to invade them or take their places. I think they thought we were competing, which, well, we were refugees not too long ago. They might still think that we're in as desperate need as they are. We tried to explain, but I think a group of them had actually found some beer somewhere deeper in the stadium, and I think a lot of them got drunk, and now they've barricaded one of the main entrances.
One of the main entrances to...
To the stadium.
Right, but it's a decrepit, falling apart mess. That's why we have to fix it. There should be many entrances.
It's not decrepit as much as it is, disused.
Alright, I'm
Slight
gonna...
difference. Also damaged, but that's a different story.
Right, I'm gonna walk to the front entrance.
Alright. To Bernabeu Stadium, front entrance.
Because here's the thing, there's like 50 of them, and I have public speaking, which means I can speak up to 50 people at the same time with charm. So,
Okay.
and this is
Well.
technically a different day, so I could try again. I tried my first test yesterday, so that's why these people were operating on today.
Alright. So you managed to reach the stadium, and you can see that the gates are actually closed,
Yeah, I know.
unlike usual.
But I'm going to shout towards the gates. Good people of Burnabout Stadium. I understand there has been some misgivings to the propositions that I have been laying out before you. I'm sorry, could
as
somebody
you
poke their
speak
head up
from-
over the gate just so I could know I'm talking to anybody?
Yeah, like, we are on this map here. You are, like, at least 20 meters away from
I'm
it.
sorry, you didn't tell me
If
that
you
you
just,
changed
like, go
maps.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that I don't drag you around. We are on Bernabeu Stadium.
Nobody drags baby into a corner. Alright, anyway, you were saying...
Oh, right. Let me go ahead and, like, add a torch for everyone. Or a camera torch. Do-do-do. Copy. And go all the way back over. And paste. Okay, there we go. Vision is acquired. And I think you guys can move the camera around, too. I think everyone can. There we go. All players.
There we go.
Awesome. Okay. So we're all now on the map. Theta, what were you saying?
So you were about to say something.
Oh, right. I was about to say, you are, in fact, 20 to 30 meters away from the gate, and it is closed. Give me perceptions as you walk closer.
Well, I said I was walking up to here, and then I said all that stuff, and I said the whole thing about poking your head out so I know that I'm talking to somebody, and then you were about to say something.
Oh, right. You were asking them to poke their heads out.
Or at least let me know that I'm talking to somebody was what I was getting at. That I'm
Right.
not a fool talking at a door.
Again.
Okay. With this, you can tell that you are, in fact, a fool talking to the door at this very moment. You can hear the sounds of talking on the other side, but they are very muffled. However, with your keen ears, you can sort of figure out from the sound that there's a lot of people who are drinking and generally being very rowdy.
Bunch of drunkards that don't want to leave and are just up to generally no good. I say, are you listening to me in there? Have you no interest in the offers I could give you? I could give you more alcohol, better alcohol. Your stores will run out eventually.
You hear something of a muffled voice from the other side go, Anthony!
I turned to Mordred. I'm sorry, did he say Anthony?
That's what it sounded like to me, sir.
Who's Anthony?
You let that question hang in the air for a moment, and from one of the windows above, one of the open windows, you see someone peek their head out from the top. Who's down there with the alcohol?
I say, I could give you more alcohol, should you be willing to talk.
While we're talking, where is it?
It's probably back at the bar.
Oh, bring it here. What's it doing all the way out there?
Waiting for an agreement to be made.
I thought we were just talking.
We are talking. Talking is the cornerstone of a civilization.
I think drinking is.
Yes, and
Maybe
you
see him,
drink.
like, pull out a bottle and just take a huge swig.
You make a drink after you've come to an agreement, and we must first come to an agreement before the beer is had.
Well, there ain't much agreeing going down here. I'm missing the fight.
Right.
He said there was more booze. Where is it?
I believe it's
I
at the
don't
bar.
think it-
I'm sorry, is there anybody in charge of this group?
There's nobody in charge of us. He says as he kind of drunkenly slurs and almost falls halfway outside the window.
So you're saying there's room for a leader. You, sir, have you any designations or aim towards anything in this life?
Designate? What is that word?
Do you have any want to improve your position?
I want to improve the amount of beer I got.
Right, and to do that, it would behoove you to make money. More money means more alcohol, does it not?
That sounds like a lot of work.
It usually does, but all the beer you could drink makes up for it, does it not?
He sort of stops and thinks for a little bit, and then keeps thinking. And his face doesn't change. His hand is just on his chin, and he seems to have just stopped motionless for a while.
He's had a heart attack, he's dead. He's just frozen in place. We stand here for the rest of the night waiting for him to decide, but he's weakened at Bernie's us. He's won the game.
But he sits there, staring off into the distance, hand on his chin for a while, until suddenly he's brought out of his own daze by a giant belch. And then he looks back down at you. Oh, you guys are still here.
I'm sorry, I thought you were in thought. I was
I
waiting
was.
for you to decide.
I was thinking the sunset was really pretty over there.
Well, you have an elevated position over me. I really can't see anything from down here.
It's real good.
Really? Maybe if you'd let me up, I could see it myself.
I think there's something over here. And he, dives back behind the window for a little bit. And he comes back with, what appears to be a blanket. And he's like, alright, all this down, you can get up with it. And he takes the blanket, and he lets go, and it drops to the ground in front of him. Completely giving you no way up via the blanket.
Hold on just one moment. I've actually got something. I can throw you up a piece of metal. Will you hold on to it?
Oh, okay. Do you got the booze?
Yes,
I'll let you up if you got the booze.
I will bring the booze.
Alright, give me a charm roll. Give me that plus 10.
Charm roll, you say?
Indeed. Do you actually have any on him to shake and present to him?
I am filled with booze. There will be booze for days.
Well, even with or without, he definitely believes that you have it. Alright, I'm gonna catch it.
I mean, I don't actually need him to catch it.
No, I'm gonna catch it.
I didn't argue with him in character. Yeah, no, I throw the grappling hook up there.
Alright, just give me a ranged weapons check for
Really?
fun.
We didn't need one of these to climb the mountain.
I know. This is just for hilarity's sake. You managed to successfully throw it up without hitting him. And you can see him kind of like drunkenly flail forward to try to catch it, and it doesn't hit him at all. Which is good because it's rather spiky, but it does
Yeah.
catch up on the window.
Yeah, no. Start climbing
You
up.
already did it! So do you climb up?
That's why I said, yeah, I'll
Oh,
climb
I'm
up.
sorry, I kind of missed it. Alright, so you climb up. You are in a room, alone with him right now. And he's looking at you going, Alright, where's the bottle?
What bottle?
Where's the booze?
Well, boo to you, sir.
He kind of looks at you and goes, I'm not playing around, I want my drink.
Alright, and as I said, all the beer you can drink is at the bar.
Oh yeah, but that takes money.
And as I said, aspiration is how you achieve that goal. Now, if you'll help me out, there will be booze in it for you. And this time, not the verbal kind.
I'm trying to just think of like the proper response to all of this.
Drunken anger, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking drunken anger. Like, where is it? And he literally is starting to spit as he talks. Just flying literally everywhere.
I would like to point out to you that should you strike me, if I am holding any bottles of booze, you will break it and it will be undrinkable.
There you go. That can be a charm check. He's about to like reach up and grasp you, but he like thinks twice about it and goes, "Well, we'll go back down and get some then."
I'll lean out the window slightly and say, Mordrin, are you not coming up?
I'll be up, sir. And let's climb on up.
All right.
Let's go sheer surface roll or what?
No, there's no roll. You can climb up for the time being. I'm gonna drop you guys in here to represent the upper floor for the moment. And there is a door out of this. Alright, so Mordrin, you have climbed up in there, and you can see a very belligerent drunk trying to hold himself back. What do you do? He's looking very expectantly at you. Where is it? He's getting right up close to you. Where is it?
It would be in your pocket if you were making money to buy it. Don't you wish to make money to buy some
Don't
booze?
you play with me, dwarf! Where is it? I need a drink. I'm almost halfway out of this one. And he will take another long swig.
Sorry, but I'm trying to remember the name of the dwarven god. Ah, shit.
Which one? There's like 3 random ones you can roll. And then there's a bunch of special gods. Do you mean Valley?
Near helps those who helps themselves.
Gilgly?
I've got Grimnir. Grimnir helps those who help themselves, young man.
He starts reaching for you and goes, I'll help you. And let's do a quick little initiative.
Uh-oh.
So let's go ahead and bring up the initiative. Where is it? Here we go. Turn order.